This is Supernatural Pistol, also known as Colt. This is his first day with a saddle, so first thing I'm doing is letting him get his heebie-jeebies out. He had the day before off and didn't get lunged or worked. He got to relax in his stall. We did work a little bit on the whoa, maybe about 4 or 5 times, just to kind of refresh him. At this point, I was asking him to whoa, but instead I actually wanted him to turn around, and he did a really good job of turning around when I asked him. He was slowing down, so I figured that'd be a good place to ask him to whoa, but I decided, no, you know what, I'm going to turn him around and make him work more. Now, kissing means canter for us, and clucking means trot. So I am asking him those transitions. I am actually kissing to him to keep going, and then I trot and he slows down. Now, this boy has never seen a saddle or a saddle pad. So for me to take it off the rail and him to bulk at it, I was not offended. I had it actually caught around the saddle pad, so that wasn't me yanking on him. That was me trying to get this line out from the saddle pad. I like to flap it around, make it seem scary, make it seem big. Try to scare him as much as I can. This boy is reactive. Not very or extremely reactive. He's just reactive. So if he sits for any length of time, like a day or two, he gets a little stupid in the brain. He has 2 brain cells fighting for third place when he sits too long. He figured out really quick that the pad comes on and off and moves around. I put it all the way up on his neck and brought it all the way down to his butt. He didn't seem to care. It was it up on the pole which really got to him. And you see, all this time I'm working with the lunge line, because if he does try to take off, I have 30 feet of line to stop him with. Now, this is very repetitious work. You just keep doing it over and over until you don't get a reaction. And he was actually quite quick on not giving me a reaction. I was trying to flap it around and do everything possible to see if he would jump out from underneath me or do anything stupid. And he didn't. And one thing I did on one side, I went to the other side and did the same thing. And Will got some amazing photos of me doing this. I did also ask him to walk around a few steps with the items on his back, which was just a pad or just a saddle. He had to walk around at least a few steps. So once he was done with this, I flapped it around a little bit more, and then I went to put it on the rail. And you can see I'm not gentle about it. I just whip it off of his back and just go. Now, he has never seen a saddle before. So you see him checking it out right now because he doesn't know what that is on the rail. Of course, he's going to bulk at it. But he is a very curious boy, just like Jazz, his half sister. And he wants to know what it is before it comes too close. Once he feels a little safer with sniffing it and checking it out, making sure it's not a mountain lion that's going to eat him, then I am eventually able to walk up to his side. Now, you can't swing it around like you can the pad. So for me, I kind of let the fenders hit him, but you see there's no stirrups on this saddle. We got stirrups. We just didn't put them on. I said, screw it, we don't need to. So you see him backing up. I'm going to let him back up. That's why there's so much line. I don't care. See, I put the fender up on his back and let it drag down his side. And I'll do this about 3 or 4 times. I don't put the whole saddle on there. Just let the fender go and drag it down. And I do this until he just kind of stops moving and doesn't care. You see, he wants to take another sniff at it. I'm totally cool with that. I don't mind him licking it or sniffing it. I don't want him eating it though, because you never want them trying to put their teeth on your show tack. So it's 4 times and just sits up there. Now I always let it sit up there. I let his brain think about it for a little bit. Then I'll go to the other side, take it down. And I don't take it down lightly. I just kind of yank it down. Now I do have a bad right shoulder, so I'm not doing a lot of flinging and lifting. I'm doing what I can. You can see I do the little fender rub on his back again, flap it up there, let it drag down his side. This time he seemed a little bit more comfortable with it, so I was like, okay, we'll just leave it up there then. Now at this point, I did want him to move at least a little bit, which meant walking left and right or forward or back. Now I am trying to move his legs to the side, and he's kind of a little stiff, like, oh my god, what's on me? But once he relaxes, he's like, oh, okay, we're good. I don't walk him around the whole round pen. I leave that for the lunging part. Now, his saddle pad was on the rail, so I did take the saddle off and I was going to put the pad on. And he decided to be a little bit of a doofus. Like, oh my gosh, I've never seen it before. He had seen it before, it was just on him. So we got this cute little video of him spooking at it for no reason. Like I said, he's a reactive horse. But he's not super reactive. Not everything's going to scare him. It's going to be the dumbest things in the world that'll just make him jump. But once he sees it's not going to kill him, he's completely fine with it once again. Now here I am combining the saddle pad and saddle, but you're going to notice the cat around his legs. That is Gollum. Gollum doesn't want you playing with the horses. He wants the attention. So it is very difficult because we do not want Gollum becoming hoof jam. We need to throw him out of the round pen. Now you see, I take him and I chuck him behind me. Yeah, his back legs do hit the rail. He's fine. You see, he wanders off. Please, no PETA activists go after me. I did not abuse him. I'd rather not him be killed by a goddamn horse. But you see, I got the saddle up on him. He was perfectly fine. And I mean the horse, not Gollum. I had to move the pad around a little bit because it seemed a little bit long and not fit the saddle perfectly. I did pull off the cinch. It's a 30-inch. Now, I did have to move it around, I think, twice to make sure it fit perfectly. When you're sizing a horse for the first time, it's a little bit more difficult to figure out and to judge where the cinch should actually sit. This is my second attempt of trying to cinch him up because I had this cinch, the girth, too high up on the off bullet. So now it's on hole number 2. And then basically what I'm doing is I am just pulling and releasing little by little. Now you saw me pick up the line. I only give him about 1.5 feet worth of headspace because I do not want him turning away from me and kicking out. So this is the best way to do it. If he tries to turn, I got his face. I tighten a little bit more and I go a little bit more. I tighten, release, tighten, release. And each time I make it a little bit tighter than the last time. So now I finally got the Latigo through the D-ring, which this is a 3/4 inch or 3/4 double rig saddle. So this is on the back rigging, which I had it for my gated horse. He's not a gated horse, obviously, but I thought, okay, we'll see if this fits.
I just moved because
it in the long run did not fit, because when he would move around, it would move up on his neck. So I need to move it to the first rig. And every time I cinched him up, I made him back up. I wanted to disengage the hindquarters, actually make them go under him, not want to go out. I'd always pet him, I'd always praise him for being a good boy and not blowing up. So I probably have done this now for about 5 minutes, cinching him up and releasing it. Finally got it on the third hole, and this is as much as we get out of him. A little bit of rearing, a little bit of jumping, a little bit of protest, and then he's completely done. That's all he wants, that's all he wrote. Now it's just keeping him moving because he is a bit lazy about this. But I am very happy he is starting to lower his head more. I don't have the whip with me, I just have the end of the lunge line, so I'm kind of swinging it around to get his brain motivated. Now I did work with Woe with this as well, and he did fabulous. So every time he stops and faces me, that's me asking him to whoa. Now here I did ask him to whoa, and I wanted him to turn around. He did perfectly, exactly what I asked of him. I was trying to keep him moving. He wanted to slow down or just stop, which made whoa a lot easier, but he kept doing it at the wrong times when I was not asking. You can see me waving my hand up. See there, I asked him to whoa. He wanted to walk in. So instead of me praising him for that because he wanted to walk in, I make him move. So I just keep letting him go around. And you can see he's not using the whole round pin. He's actually being a little bit of a turd about this. He's using like a quarter of the round pin. But he's at least doing what I'm asking him to do. You can see here he's starting to slow down a bit, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'd rather have a slow speed at the trot anyway. Kind of loses his attention, but then he brings it back. All in all, for the hour session, he did amazing. And that was the last whoa I asked of him. And these are some beautiful pictures that Will got from his cell phone.